You guys ready or what?
Already.
Awesome. Well, here we go. Another episode of the Ice Team podcast. Everyone knows this gentleman across from me, Mr. Dave Genz. Doesn't need an introduction. Today we're going to have some fun. We're at the North Metro Ice Show in Ramsey, Minnesota, out at the Adrenaline Sports Center. And the show hasn't quite started yet today. We're about 15 minutes away. But we're going to do a fun podcast with the junior ice team, our young kids. You must be under the age of 18 to be on this side of the table, other than maybe Hunter Lanke. He looks like he's 40. So we're going to join. He's going to join us at some point today. But to kick things off, we got Jack Johnson, Blake Bussin right here. Super excited to have these two fine young men on with us to kick things off. They've done a ton of things in the ice fishing world. And I figured, I kind of cornered Dave yesterday. He kind of got voluntold to do this. But why not, huh?
Why not? You know, yeah. I said it, being outside this morning and scraping a little ice off my window was actually exciting.
Yeah.
Just to feel the cold air. Yeah. Fresh air.
And you were telling us in our morning powwow, what'd you say, Lake of the Woods already has a bunch of snow and Devil's Lake. And
yeah. So, I mean, there's going to be people sneaking out on the ice, even in Minnesota here in the next, before this week is over.
And you're thinking you'll get out, probably win.
Yeah. I haven't put summer away yet. That's my problem. The boat's still in the garage. I need to get that out of there.
Yeah, I suppose. So, Jack and Blake, welcome.
Welcome.
You guys have both done interviews and podcasts and things all over the place. So let's do this. This has always been kind of fun. I think our listeners and people that are watching would love to know a little bit about yourselves. It doesn't need to be specifically about fishing, but it can be maybe a fun fact. Maybe let people know first how old you are, where you're from. And then we'll jump on in. Blake, go ahead.
Well, I'm 15 now, but I'll be 16 next month. And then I'm from Isanti, Minnesota. And then I'm on our school fishing team.
Nice.
Which is really fun. And then I don't know. I just grew up on the ice more than the open water.
Yep. And you fish tournaments?
Yep.
Yep, Fish for MN Made. You won an award with FAM.
Yep.
You want to tell anybody about that?
Yeah, so FAM started kind of around me. Can I tell how FAM started?
Yeah, of course.
So FAM started, so I put up a list of everything that I needed to earn for tournament fishing. And I put down the prices and how I was going to do it, mowing lawns, picking up dog poop, everything like that. And one of the board members for Minnesota Made seen that, and he's like, and it just sparked the inspiration, like, we should start a thing to help anglers out, get started with everything. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it started. So I was the first future legend. So they pretty much paid for everything that I needed to start tournament fishing and everything, and it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, you're doing a heck of a good job. And you have a nickname. What's your nickname?
Schoolie.
Why'd you get the nickname Schoolie?
So when I was going through puberty, my voice was cracking and going up and down. And there's a reel called the Schoolie reel, and it squeaks when you reel it. And my voice is really squeaky, so they call me Schoolie.
You know what's great about ice fishing, though, is that it's not that expensive to get into. You can get out there and catch quality fish with I wouldn't say inexpensive gear, but with minimum gear.
Yeah.
And some of the keys is to make sure you're out there when they're biting. Catching fish is relatively easy. The hard part is being where they are when they're biting.
You don't need a fancy bass boat or anything like that.
No, with what it costs to get into ice fishing, summer fishing, you're still standing on shore.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's what we always tell people, especially with families and kids, is it's not expensive. Some families I know, especially at shows like this, excuse me, they'll go, well, this is going to be our family Christmas gift. We're just going to get what we need to go ice fishing, a pop-up hub house, an auger, maybe a Vexlar, right? A heater, nothing too over the top, and you can go ice fishing. So, Dave, you're spot on. All right, Blake, we'll let you have the hot seat for just 1 minute. You're going to get to talk some more. Jack, let us know a little bit about you.
So I'm 15 years old, and what I majorly do the whole time pretty much is just fish, play sports, and just run around with friends. I fish in the Ultimate Panfish League in the winter time, and summertime we get out on the boat a lot. I'm pretty privileged to get coming along to a lot of these photo shoots and stuff. And it's been pretty nice getting to know Blake the past few years because I feel like we connect pretty much the same person on the ice. We like to catch fish and have fun. So excited for another year to get started off as there's snow on the trains coming in and it's cold out today. Like 25.
The first thing Jack noticed today, we're here getting the booth set up this morning. He's like, dude, there's snow on that train that's going past. I got to see both of you fish together. Was it last year or the year before?
Both
it was last year.
Yeah.
I feel like we got out both.
Yeah.
Took these guys out ice fishing on the lake near both of us, and it was quite impressive to see how good they are. And I mean, I can't think of when I was 15. I think you might guess, you would have still been 15. Could have been 14, whatever. How good of anglers you two were, and how you worked as a team, and how you broke down structure, and how you hole hopped, and you didn't any guidance from any of us. You just did your own thing and outfished all of us. So it's pretty cool to see the students of the game get excited about this. I mean, when you were 14, 15, Dave, were you ice fishing?
Well, certainly that was ice fishing, but we were chopping holes. That's the big difference. The ease of getting a hole through the ice now.
Yeah.
And the younger guys can, drill holes all day long. And it's just all this modern equipment that's out there makes it easy for this next generation coming up to, outdo our generation.
That's why I bring Jack with half the time, is because he just cuts all the holes.
Yeah, it's
Your dad says the same thing too, Blake.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah,
Bubba's like, I bring Blake. He cuts all the holes.
when my dad bought his first power auger, a Klug power auger, was very heavy. I drilled all the holes. He was a wise man.
Nice.
Teach the young guys how to drill the holes.
All right, Blake. We got a big ice fishing season coming up. What are your? Let's talk progressive here this winter. You got the first day of the ice show under your belt yesterday. Today's day 2. You're seeing all kinds of new stuff. You're already strategizing on what to do for this winter. What are your plans? Let's just say your first 3 days on the ice. What are you doing? What are you fishing for? And what's going to be your mindset this winter?
Well, a lot of my winter fishing has been just pre-fishing a lot for the tournaments. But I'd say the first week of ice fishing would probably be trying to find them bigger crappies and whatnot. But that time they're really spooky with drilling holes and all that. So it's going to be tough, but try to get on a good crappie bite.
Get on some big slabs.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any specific spots or waypoints you want to share with the listeners?
No.
Okay. And how are you going to catch them? What are you planning to use? Are you going to be finesse fishing? You think you're going to catch them aggressively? What are you thinking there?
Probably like a pinhead and stuff like that. Moving baits.
Yep. Chase them down?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
That's the interesting first ice. Sometimes you can see right through the ice,
Yeah.
and you can see the weeds. It's nice to just walk around out there, see the weeds, and find the best little pocket of weeds,
Yeah.
and get it set up there. And the fish will show up in them spots. You probably spooked them out of there when you first came and drilled a hole and set up, but you really don't mind if there are people walking around because they're going to end up where you are then.
Yeah. It's funny how a lot of anglers don't rely on the shallow weeds in the wintertime. Not near as much as they should, even in the dead of winter. I mean, we've had really good bites on the ice in 4, 5, 6 feet of water in January and February in the weeds. So Dave brings up a good point. Green weeds, important. Seeing through the ice, man, that'll take some stress and effort off you. Just be able to visually see where these weeds are. That's an excellent point. So Blake's chasing big crappies.
Yep.
What's the biggest crappie you ever caught?
I think it's 14 3/4. Right around there.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
You gonna catch a 15 this year?
Hoping.
Okay. Nice. All right, Jack, how about you? What are we doing to start the season? I think I already know, but let the listeners know.
Well, first, obviously, make sure the ice is safe. You don't want to. I know everyone's excited to get out, but you don't want to push it too early and get out and have an accident happen. But once the ice is safe, I'm probably going to get out. And like Blake said, the fish are super spooky. But look for some weeds. Put the camera down. Probably camera around some spots. Bring the snow dog out. That's almost probably more fun. If the fishing's not good, I'm having fun just ripping that thing around. But checking for good weed spots just for tournaments in general, cameraing, and hopefully catching a lot of fish. But we'll see. I'm just ready to get out, pinhead, Tika flash, test out some of the new stuff because there's a lot of new stuff coming out this year.
Yeah.
Excited.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty important on this first ice to take that ice chisel or spud bar, whatever you may call it, and walk and hit on that ice and make sure that it. I always say if the chisel doesn't go through, that neither will you.
Yeah.
And just check that ice. Don't walk out there with a power auger and walk out there and then drill a hole. I had that experience one time where I was out on the lake. Ice was marginal. We had checked our way out there, all of a sudden I hear something. I flip my fish trap down, and here comes a guy with a 3-horse power auger over his shoulder. He walks right out past us, never checked it one time.
Yeah.
Started the auger up, drilled a hole, fell through immediately. He just backed up and went back to shore.
Yeah.
Because he should not have been out there.
Yeah. No,
But,
safety is important. Dave.
You got to check that ice.
Yeah.
And we're really fortunate now at Clam to have the float suits, so that if you did fall through, you're not going to go under the ice, and
Yep.
you will be saved.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know both these young men here wear float suits, but since we're talking junior ice team and focusing on the youth, Clam also makes a youth float suit. I know it's a little too small for you guys. You're bigger than me and Dave. But for our youngsters, you'll see some younger kids on the show here. We make a suit just like ours. It's not dulled down. It's so cool. It's just like mom and dad's. That has all the benefits and floats. So Ice Summer by Clam makes a youth float suit option too, with adjustable inseams, the whole 9 yards. You can get your kid fitted. I highly encourage anyone that's really taking ice fishing seriously as a family that they look at getting their kid something that floats.
And also not only floats, but it keeps them warm.
Absolutely.
They could go out there and dry. They're playing in the snow. When we grew up, we were wet every time we came in the house. Now that you come in and you're still dry.
Yep. Spot on.
Well, I feel like that's important too, because Dad knows Ben and Brody and Callie like to run around and fall through holes,
Oh, yeah.
and even like spear holes. Now you got to be careful because you can't see them. Like, it's good to know that like if you're not paying attention to your kids, you know that they're not gonna,
Fall in.
Yeah.
So why is it, and we'll ask you guys this one more question, why is it that when there's a stick in the ice, kids want to go play by it when we know we shouldn't? I swear it's like an attractor for younger kids, that anything of out of the ordinary on the ice that Dave and I would probably steer away from, it's like every kid gets. You guys don't do that, do you? Not anymore?
I may go out and check it out, but I'm not going to play on it.
All right, so this winter, one last question for you two guys. We looked at you guys as leaders for the junior ice team. What are each of your goals for this ice season? And let our listeners know what that might look like, and it can be really whatever you want. But what are one of each of your goals for this season? Go ahead, Blake.
Well, one, to do good in my tournament season, hoping to do pretty good, and then I'm really hoping to break my PB crappie.
Those are excellent goals, and realistic goals. Well put, Jack.
Yeah, I would probably have to say like last year we had a pretty good season. We finished in 5th, but we were 1 to 2 spots every event shy of placing the check. That's probably my biggest goal, is for me and Rich to place a check. I don't think people realize like what goes into tournament fishing. It's a lot of days of pre-fishing, check-in, frustration. You get to your spot, there's no fish there. I mean, if I can place a check one time, I think that could make my whole winter. So.
Yep, I like it. Well, boys, thank you so much. Appreciate all that you do. So we're gonna have them tag 2 more junior ice team pros to come on up and jump on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Blake,
Right.
Jack.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks, guys.
Bluegill bomb.
Bluegill bump. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, we're about, I suppose, Dave, this show is underway in about 2 minutes, so we got a first couple junior ice team pros hopping on here, chatting, fishing. I'll tell you what, the weather feels like ice fishing.
It does. I'm sure it inspired the number of people that are coming to this show, because you're out there and it feels like you should be ice fishing.
Yep. Oh, boy, we got 2 new victims here. Throw the headsets on and speak close to the mic like I'm doing. And
All right.
Brady and Carter, Norton, I've gotten to know these 2 young men several years. We've been boat fishing.
Yeah.
You guys caught some giant bass.
Heck yeah, we did.
We've taken you guys catfishing. I've seen
Yeah.
you catch some catfish. Brady and I catfished. I think it was a balmy negative 20 degrees outside. You remember that day?
Yeah, it was like,
Or are you trying to forget it?
I think it was like -7 and like blowing like 40.
And I took Carter catfishing, and you had on, I think, the lake monster.
Yeah.
We never saw it. You fought it for like 10 minutes, and we never got it up.
Yeah.
So we'll let these guys know what we did with Jack and Blake is maybe let people know who you are, where you're from, fun fact, and we'll start with that. Carter, why don't you start off?
I'm Carter Norton. I'm from Minnesota. I like to fish, ice fish. I hunt as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You play some sports, don't you?
I used to play basketball. I've pretty much played every sport in existence, but
Now you just want to live outside.
Yeah, basically.
That's fair. Fair enough. How about you, Brady?
All right, I'm Brady. I'm from Coon Rapids, and then I don't play any sports. I just shoot, trap, and skeet for my school,
Yep.
and hunting and fishing. turkey hunting.
Yeah, that skeet shooting's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I noticed like when I was, I know when I was in high school, you didn't have any opportunities like that, especially for your school program. And I know your mom, and I see your mom post all your stuff. It's pretty darn cool. So how does that, like, so as a high school kid, if there are high school kids watching this, like how do they get involved in like a skeet shooting program?
If it's in your school, you just sign up for it, just like any sport, basically.
Okay. And you have to provide your own gun and all that?
And then you can buy ammo from the school. At least our school, you can buy ammo from the school.
Okay. That's pretty darn cool. And you guys do a bunch of fishing stuff. You guys aren't doing any fishing teams, right? Coon Rapids doesn't have a fishing team yet.
They don't have one, no.
I know you guys have looked into getting one, which is awesome. It's something maybe we continue to press down the road.
Yeah.
So ice fishing season, we were kind of goofing off with Blake and Jack. Their kind of angle, it seemed like, in ice fishing was the tournament side.
Yeah.
Blake does the MMA, Jack does the UPL. So that was kind of clearly one of their main focuses. I know you guys don't do any tournaments, but I know you guys are absolute diehard crappie anglers.
Yeah.
You guys chase them all over the place. Why is crappie like your target species? Why do you like it so much?
They're just so fun, especially when they're in the huge schools. I don't really fish deep that much, it's shallow, 6-7 feet of water. When they're schooled up in the weeds, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Just pull out the pinhead and you're good.
For me, it's just because, I mean, when you get on that school of like 50 crappies, it's just nonstop out of the hole. It's extremely fun.
Yeah.
Especially that shallow water, they seem to come,
Oh, yeah.
coming through at 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
and grab your bait and the drag starts slipping. That's always exciting.
Yeah.
It's funny how hard they fight in shallow water
Yeah.
Yes.
compared to deep water.
Yeah, that deep water, you start pulling them up and they, almost like freeze. They get stiff and they come up with their mouths wide open and also hard to release. So, we're a lot better off fishing them crappies in that shallow water.
Yeah. Does your dad appreciate that you guys outfish him all the time?
No.
No, not really.
Because your dad is one heck of a muskie angler.
Yeah,
and people,
heck yeah, he
they
is.
see Brandon walking around in a clam jersey helping us on the ice side, but he's a phenomenal muskie angler. I
Yeah.
know both of you have done a lot of muskie fishing. Now, from a muskie fishing world, in terms of ice fishing, has anything in the muskie fishing world helped you become better ice anglers?
I'd say just being patient. I mean,
Yeah, that's a big key.
and the
Yeah.
fish don't always want to eat, so you
Yeah.
got to try new things just to figure out what they actually want.
Yep, you
Yeah.
got to try and find out what they're doing, because muskies, they're sometimes in a mood where you don't catch them, so you got to just keep fighting, try and find what they want.
Yeah. And have you guys caught any muskies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I knew the answer, but yeah.
Yeah, I caught a couple this year. I caught my biggest muskie, which was 45 inches. It was my second cast on a topwater. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did the muskies fight harder than a crappie?
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
They eat crappies.
Yeah, they eat them.
Dave, you catch some muskies once in a while because you fish on the river a ton, and you've seen some big ones on the river.
Oh, yeah,
haven't
there's
you?
some monster fish in the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
And we had one muskie tried eating a walleye a couple days ago. And I said the river is, kind of the unsung hero, let's say, around the metro area here. It's great fishing on the river.
Yeah.
And it's a little tough to get around, but that keeps the number of people down, which is actually good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that I'd like to ask you. The pinhead minnow gets brought up all the time, and especially a newcomer that's going to use it for the first time. They struggle on what they should do with it. So what do you do with it to catch a fish?
First of all, it starts with the rod. Got to have a noodle rod with a stiff backbone to get the hook set, and then it helps the bait move a little bit better. Just pound it right in their face and slowly raise it up, and they'll just crush it. I just love it, the no bait. I mean, cold hands and trying to put on bait sucks. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No
Agreed.
So I don't know. I said still describing the action that the newbie would use. So you pound it pretty hard.
Yeah, I
or
pound
you-
it pretty hard, and then
you're trying to get that blade.
that little blade on the back to get going, and then once they come up, I slow it down just a little bit, but don't stop the bait. Just keep it moving.
So how big of motions do you give it? I mean, is it short
It's just-
motions or
super
or
short.
are they just taller
Super
ones?
short, and then once they get a little closer, I'll make it a little bit taller, but not like pound it. I just slow, and then they usually eat it when you're raising it.
So that's you too.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if I can see them kind of out of the zone of my Vexlar, I kind of slow pound it, and as soon as they get closer, I kind of longer bounces, and that usually strikes it.
Yeah.
Definitely, the pinhead is the first lure, let's say, that I've had confidence in fishing without bait on it.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, I had to have a waxworm or a maggot or a minnow head on my treble hook.
Yeah.
You know, is there any tricks you would use to get that treble hook out of that crappie's mouth or lips? What do you use to get the
I just use forceps.
Forceps?
Yeah. Well, you should. I mean, if they're eating the pinhead like they normally do, you usually
Well,
gotta
yeah,
use them.
Yeah.
That is the trickiest part sometimes
Yeah.
with frustration to people, is that the treble hook's in there and you can't get it out.
Yeah, especially with the little bluegills. I mean, they suck to get those things
Yeah,
out.
you got all 3 hooks
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
them. And
Yeah, that pinhead is dynamite. It's, I mean, it's one of those baits where absolutely you do not need bait.
No.
Those fish key on that flapper blade. It's got all the right action. Small profile. We came out with the Pinhead Pro recently in the last year or so, out of zinc alloy and a 1/32 ounce.
Yeah.
So now you got even a smaller spoon. I used the 1/32 ounce last year, probably as much as the 1/16.
Yeah.
So a little smaller profile, thin wire hook, and that hook has a pretty much neutral balance in the water. So when that fish comes up to kind of just nip at it, that hook just kind of flutters in, and it almost hooks them.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes they get, like, especially the bluegills. You mentioned
Yeah.
the bluegills, because people are all the time are saying, how do you catch, you're not catching bluegills on spoons. Like, no, they need little, they will destroy a spoon.
Yeah, I catch tons of bluegills on those
Yeah.
things.
So pinhead's your favorite bait.
Yeah.
Hands down. I clearly get it. All right, this winter, I'm going to ask each one of our kids the same question. I think this is a great question. It's something you should all think about. Give us one of your goals for this ice fishing season. And what
16-inch
is it?
crappie and 10-inch bluegill. One of the two.
I have a feeling we're going to see a trend here, Dave. a new PB fish, because Blake said the same thing as I want to catch a PB crappie. That's a great goal. I think it's achievable. 16-inch crappie, though. Whew.
Yeah.
You know they
It's tough.
exist.
Yeah.
You know they exist. So what about you, Carter?
For me, just catch a crappie over 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was tough. I worked super hard, but I was only to manage to pull out a 12-incher, which it's still a very nice crappie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for the Metro,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think not enough people, Dave, and I think you would agree, truly measure their fish.
No.
So they like to throw around, I got a limited 12-inch crappies.
Yeah.
I got a limited 10-inch bluegills.
Yeah. And they're 10 inches.
Yeah, and we're like, a limited 10-inch bluegills? I don't know. That's pretty tough.
pretty tough. I don't know if I've ever done that in my life, a limit.
No.
You know.
So these two kids are hard at it. I know they know what they're talking about. It's awesome having you guys on the team. You guys have been working your tails off. You catch a pile of fish. Can't appreciate you enough. I know you're going to be at other shows too.
Yep. We'll be at
Yep.
the next one.
Yep, you'll be at the Blaine show as well,
Yep.
so you can come say hi to Brady and Carter. Ladies, you can come get some autographs, meet these two young, fine men, and have some fun. Boys, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Go grab us two
Thanks for
other
having
people.
us.
You
Bluegill
betcha.
bump.
Thanks, guys. I remember that day when we went catfishing. I mean, it was Brady's not lying. It was very, very, very cold out. I remember it was blowing a million miles an hour, and we just kept moving to find fish. And we were pre-fishing, actually. We were taking all of our female anglers out fishing the next day. So I was actually out there pre-fishing. And, of course, it had to be the day where the entire bottom fell off the temperature gauge. But
Well, I've got some outings planned for later this week, and I think, just get all your ice fishing gear on, and it'll be okay in the boat.
Yeah.
Hands might get a little cold, but
yeah. All right, we got two new guys on the scene. You guys might recognize the gentleman to my left, Mr. Hunter Lanke, and you got Mason O'Connor across from us. These two guys have been helping out at shows. It's been a number of years. This isn't your first rodeo. We got a bunch of Savary veterans on the junior pro team. You guys have already met Blake and Jack, Carter and Brady Norton. Now you get Hunter and Mason. So, guys, let our fans know who you are, where you're from. Maybe a fun fact about you. Doesn't have to be fishing related. Just something fun. Hunter, why don't you go ahead?
Hunter Lanke, Elk River, Minnesota, and probably, I don't know.
What's a fun fact about you? I know a ton, dude.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. What'd you do at the state fair?
I showed my pig. That was reckless. Staying in above cattle barn with no AC, with, I don't know, 100 plus other teenagers.
I remember you came down to the booth. I think it was the opening day. We were working the booth, and Hunter comes down. You were all sweaty. I remember I made a comment. It's right away in the morning. I'm like, how are you so sweaty? He's like, I haven't stopped sweating in 2 days. Because you're like, we're sleeping. I think your mom was with you, and you were like, I'm literally sleeping above a barn with no air conditioning, like 4 blocks that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And you're like, yeah, it's bad. And I think didn't you have a Camelback on? The water bottle backpack, and you were just chugging water?
Yeah.
So Hunter, we'll talk fishing with Hunter in a minute, but Hunter shows pigs. You've had winning pigs in competitions.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
Oh, yeah. When I switched counties, I was in Sherburne, and I would take like 2 or 3 pigs down to the Sherburne County Fair, and like I would get like grand champion, reserve grand champion, blue ribbon, red ribbon. The red ribbon you don't want.
Yeah.
That's like down on the pack. So it's...
Yeah, you got humbled once in a while. We all do. Well, that's awesome. Mason, I've gotten to know you a lot over the years. You're one of my kids' good buddies. Why don't you let them know a little bit about yourself?
My name's Mason O'Connor, and I grew up in Ramsey. That's where I live now. A fun fact is I play football and baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you play football for Anoko's high school team?
Yep.
You guys had a good season. Had a tough loss the other night. I know I saw that. Mason, receiver and corner?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Skilled position?
Yeah.
I got to know Mason's dad, Aaron. You might know Aaron O'Connor, much like Hunter's dad, Sean. You guys all know Sean. Aaron is on our pro staff as well. So football, dude. We have a football game today. Brody does. Pretty excited. So let's talk some fishing. Dave, do you have anything you want to throw at him before I jump in?
Well, I guess how old were you, Hunter, when you got your first fish through the ice?
3 years old.
So Sean has had you out there. Your dad's had you out there on the ice at a young age.
Yeah, I think my first fish was a 4-pound lake trout.
Wow.
First fish through the ice.
4 years old.
I'm sure it took you a while to get that thing in.
Oh yeah.
And I bet the line was all tangled up by the time you got it in.
And when I got it, and my grandma was working at a local gas station just in town, and I was so excited we didn't have any buckets, so we got a bag, like a Target bag, and I was trying to get out of the bag. It was flopping all over. It flopped on the ground. There was customers laughing. She was laughing. My dad was laughing. I was laughing. So it was... Those things are slimy.
Yes, they are, and strong besides.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Slimy. Have you caught an eel pout?
No.
Okay. They're slimy. They're slimy. Eel pout are fun.
They actually are.
What was your first fish? You remember it?
Probably about the same age, but not a 4-pound lake trout.
Yeah.
It's probably a sunfish or crappie.
Nice. You guys chase a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
I know both of you have competitively fished. I know you've done both open and ice. I know Mason fished competitively open water. Mm-hmm. You've done well. You've done really well in the bass scene.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
Yeah, didn't you guys qualify for something pretty darn cool a few years back?
For nationals.
Yeah. Mason and his partner qualified for the nationals for, was it TBF or BAS?
Yeah,
TBF. And you went down to Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa on the river.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of sticks here that love to fish, not just ice fishing, and I think that's the beauty of it. And we asked Brady and Carter a little bit about their musky fishing prowess and how it taps into ice fishing, and they gave us some great advice on it. Taught them composure, how to slow down, how to adapt, how to think about things to trick these fish. So that's all very, very important. So what's each of your favorite fish to target through the ice? And then give us a reason why you like to target that. Go ahead, Hunter.
Sunnies and crappies probably because I target them too much.
Are they easy to catch or?
Sometimes, if I'm on a school of them, and they're finicky to fish or catch.
What's your biggest sunfish and your biggest crappie?
My biggest sunny was a 10-incher, and my biggest crappie was a 14.5.
How'd you catch them?
The crappie was a pinhead, and the sunny was, I think, a pinhead too. Pinhead or a drop shot.
Did I see that sunfish?
Yeah.
Did I weigh that sunfish?
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a giant.
Like a .985.
Yeah, we were getting ready for a UPL weigh-in, and you and your dad and some other buddies were out fishing, and I was getting the weigh-in stuff set up, and Hunter comes back and he's got a bucket, and you could see him smiling as he got out of the truck, and he comes running up and he's like, "Can I weigh a fish I just caught. I'm like, yeah, dude, go ahead. And he opens the lid on this bucket, and this bluegill has got the entire bottom of that bucket covered. And you got that fish mounted.
It's still in the freezer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a 9.5 bluegill, that 10-inch bluegill, and a crappie that my
Got some
dad still
giants.
needs to mount.
Yeah.
And he's like, before I was 18, he's like, if you catch 10 plus bluegill and a 15 plus crappie, I'll mount it.
Yeah.
And they're still in the freezer.
Well, we got to get your dad on the stand here. Come on. No, I got to see that fish. Nice job, man. All right, Mason, how about you? Favorite species and why?
Probably crappie and sunny, because I don't know, that's what I've always chased. But
How do you like to catch them?
pinheads.
There's a theme here, Dave.
Yeah, I said this. The younger generation and the pinhead, and I think that the older generation like myself are the ones that are probably more reluctant to use them than the younger people.
Yeah, there's truth to that. I mean, I got all kinds of clients, and I'll get people that when I give them a rod with the jigging spoon on it, I even had clients, some honestly say, oh, we're targeting walleye today? No, we're fishing crappies and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I think you're 100% right. Even when I grew up fishing, and I'm only 40, but when I grew up fishing, I'm in between you guys. We weren't taught to fish with spoons for crappies. I mean, you did it once in a while on a very, very, very aggressive bite.
Yeah.
Now I use a pinhead, and much like you two guys, to start. Negative, neutral, aggressive, right? We're all using pinheads and chasing down fish.
Search too. I guess that's another big word. It's a great search lure because it fishes heavy.
Yeah.
And you can get it up and down quickly. And that's what's wrong with fishing too small of stuff. Sometimes if you're in the search mode, it takes too long. You want to be fast when you're in the search mode.
Yeah. So let's say we got a bunch of kids listening, guys, younger than you, and they want to get into fishing, or they're just getting into fishing. From your perspective, now high school kids and even out of high school, what would be one tip you'd give to maybe some of these younger kids that are getting into fishing? Maybe a tip that is a big reason you enjoyed it so much. Go ahead, Hunter.
Probably like clothes, like the ice armor,
Staying
stay
warm. Yeah.
the heaters,
Yeah.
gloves.
That's an excellent tip. I think we often overlook the clothes we wear. We're so quick to look at tackle and rods and Vexilars and cameras and fish houses, and I think we often overlook the clothes. And Hunter brings up a good point. Especially as a kid, if you're a parent watching, if your son or daughter is not warm and comfortable, the day ends pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I had that problem
Yeah.
before.
yeah, you got
We
too
were
cold.
We were out fishing, and I was like young, and I seen an open hole. I stepped in, it went all the way up my leg. So I had to rush home.
Yep. What about you, Mason?
I don't know, just one of the big reasons I got into it was just looking up to my elders and watching videos and just getting out there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. So you guys got a fun winter plan. We're excited. Can't thank you guys enough for hopping on. You both will be at the next show as well, the Blaine show. So if you're watching this and you want to meet some of these guys or gals, or you have kids in the sport and you want to bring them to a show and they can spend time learning from the people their age, it's a great chance to do it. So Hunter, Mason, thanks, guys. Go grab two more.
Alrighty.
Well, I think some of us older guys could learn from these young guys too.
All the
You know,
time. Hop on, guys. We got two familiar faces.
Yes, sir.
We'll give them a really hard time here. So we got two more of my personal kids. I know everything. Lean up to the mic here, Brody. So we got Ben and Brody Johnson. You guys having fun at the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about the show so far?
Yesterday they had archery. That was a lot of fun. I did that for a while.
Archery?
Yeah.
Thorn Brothers.
Brody says Thorn Brothers. Here, this might be a little high for you. Speak right in there. So Brody likes Thorn Brothers. We all like Thorn Brothers. Ben likes archery, which is super cool. So at this show, there's an organization called AKA Sports that partnered with the junior ice team to put on some kids' activities. And they're doing basketball over there, dodgeball, archery, soccer, whatever it might be. And then we're doing some stuff in our booth here, coloring contest, teaching kids about rods and lures and how to rig plastics and all that kinds of stuff. So pretty neat. What's What is your, Brody, what's your favorite thing? What makes you tick when we go ice fishing? Like, why do you love to ice fish so much?
Looking at the vexillars and knowing you have a fish on.
Looking at the Vexilars and knowing you have a fish? Yeah. Do you get excited when you see a really big red or white line? Yeah. Do you stop breathing for a while? Okay. What about you, Ben? What do you love about ice fishing?
Fishing from the top bunk.
Fishing from the top bunk. So there's, you want to tell a story about fishing from the top bunk?
So, what lake were we at?
Lake Mille Lacs.
Yeah, so at Lake Mille Lacs, we were on the ice, and I was sitting on the top bunk with my rod, just chilling, watching my phone, and all of a sudden I feel thump, thump. Look down at my vexillar. I have a big marking. I get a huge bite. I start reeling it in, and I get a 19-inch walleye from the top bunk.
Yep.
Cool.
And the crazy thing about that, Dave, is what was it? Was it Thane that was with us all day? And he never marked a fish? Was it that? Yeah.
Thane comes in later, and he's like, I didn't mark a single fish. How are you guys getting so much?
Yeah. And Ben is literally laying on the top bunk of the fish house in our drop down and catches a really nice walleye from the top bunk. Yeah. Brody, you've caught some really big fish. You've caught some big crappies.
Got like a 24-inch walleye at Lake of the Woods.
What'd you use to catch that 24-inch walleye, you remember?
The golden black lure. It was like a spoon.
Spoon? Was it a jointed pinhead?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah. And when did you? What were we doing the 2 days leading up to that? And why was it so funny that you caught that fish that morning? Remember?
Because we were doing like a TV show with Greg Jones, and the day when they went back before we were gonna go home, I hooked into a big fish.
So we were filming with Midwest Outdoors, and they went left, and the next morning we're like, oh, we'll fish for a couple hours and hit the road. And that next morning, first fish of the morning, Brody catches a 24.5-inch walleye. Was that pretty fun? Yeah. Now you're a walleye expert? All right. So let's talk. I know something you both really like, and I think it's worth calling out. We have some of these new YouTube groups popping up, and I feel like they're having such a positive impact on our youth. Of course, the first one, Sobe. Everyone knows Sam Sobe. Sobe was here yesterday at the show, walking around, talking to people, doing a meet and greet. I think it's wonderful. Another big one is the Crappie Chronicles. They're doing a phenomenal job engaging with everyone, not just our youth, but our youth really seem to gravitate towards these YouTubers. So when it comes to YouTube, YouTube's been a big one for you guys, hasn't it? You watch a lot of YouTube. So speaking of Sobe, speaking of Barton, the Crappie Chronicles, what are something you really love about watching fishing videos on YouTube? And if someone is watching, maybe give a shout out to some of these guys. What do you love about Sobe and the Chronicles?
I love watching Sobe because he's so enthusiastic. I feel like he's always happy. Even when he breaks off, he's still got that smile on his face. He always is super happy.
Yeah. What about you, Brody?
I like watching it because it inspires me and it helps me get better at fishing.
Yep. And what did you buy? What did you buy yesterday at Thorn Brothers that you had to have?
A Crappie Chronicle pinhead.
Yeah. So the beauty of it is these YouTubers, Dave, are educating people, entertaining people, and I think one of the big advantages that we're seeing with this YouTube crowd is they're kind of motivating our youth. Like you heard Brody just say, it inspires him. That's pretty darn. I'll be honest, not to get sappy. My generation, you inspired me. Watch it. We didn't have YouTube, but I watched you on videos, on TV. I'd come to shows. So it's kind of cool to see how things just continue to circle around. Now we got these new younger people being inspired by some of these YouTube people, but I think YouTube definitely coming along.
Oh, you bet. We've entered the digital age. Back in our generation, or my generation, the space age was a big thing. I often said we've taken ice fishing from the Stone Age to the space age. Well, it's actually progressed past that now. The younger generation is into the digital age with YouTube and just all the electronics and things that are available to them.
Yeah. Ben, Brody, what are three, each can list three things. Three of your favorite things for ice fishing. It can be anything on a day. What are the three favorite things? Let's say three things you'll never leave home without. You got to have them with you.
A Vexillar. Probably an auger.
Yeah.
and my safety gear.
Your safety gear, like your float suit and your ice picks and all that
Yeah.
stuff? Okay, those are good things. So Brody says good safety clothing and ice gear. His auger, because you can't catch a fish without an auger. And then his Vexlar. Those are good ones.
Them are very good ones.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
Well, something that Brody missed, which you can't fish without, is rod and hooks. So
Yep.
I would bring my rod and my jig box,
Okay.
and then an auger.
I thought you would for sure say snacks.
Yeah, me too.
But I thought Ben's going to say, gotta have snacks.
That was my fourth option.
Okay, speaking of snacks, we're gonna get down and dirty. What are some of your favorite snacks to have on the ice? Like when we stop at a gas station or a grocery store on the way to the lake, what are you grabbing and what should our listeners be grabbing?
Beef jockey.
Beef jerky?
Any flavor of Doritos.
Any flavor of Doritos? What about
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts? What
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew? Yeah.
Granola bar.
Granola bar? All kinds of good stuff. You guys load up bags of stuff. I know that's part of the fun. If the fishing's tough and you have good snacks, they seem to go by a little
You can make
better.
it through the low spots,
So,
you know.
Yeah. But all right, you guys are going to be excited for ice fishing. It's happening pretty quick. We've already talked to some of the kids talking about how hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe by Thanksgiving, you will see people going out ice fishing. If you could catch one fish this winter, one fish, it's all you get to fish for and nothing else.
Sturgeon.
Brody says, you want to catch a sturgeon through the ice.
Sturgeon.
And Ben wants to catch a sturgeon through the ice. So we might have to make a trip to the St. Croix River.
I guess.
Because that's about where you go to catch them through the ice.
And it's, these northern Minnesota lakes, Otter Tail, they're catching a lot of sturgeon.
Really? Okay.
That, they've fixed up the river system so that the sturgeon can migrate up the Otter Tail River.
Okay.
And, they're starting to catch fish in these lakes. Catch and release only, so it's, they're going to continue to be more of them.
Have you ever caught a sturgeon through the ice, Dave?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I caught one. It was about that long, and I caught it on Lake of the Woods with my uncle and walleye fishing. We weren't sturgeon fishing. And this was on the U.S. side out of Baudette, out of Adrian's Resort. Day house, hook a fish, thinking this is going to be a good walleye. And it was like a 4-pound sturgeon. And I didn't know they got that small. All the sturgeon I have caught prior to that were on the Rainy River, usually in April, in the spring. But you hear of some caught once in a while. I mean, I see some of the resorts on Lake of the Woods posting pictures, Border View Lodge, Arneson's, things like that. You see sturgeon caught, Sportsman's. So I know they're there, but that's intriguing. So you guys want to catch a sturgeon through the ice?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I got to make some calls and see what we can figure out here. So these two guys have been a big help to me, a big help to Ice Team. I know in the fishing tournaments, we got both of you helping us out. Here at the shows, Ben's over here stamping people's receipts. Brody's running around helping kids get engaged. So we love it. I appreciate it. It's a lot more fun for me, Dave, at these shows when I have my kids with, too.
They're a great help,
Yep.
and they help everyone. It's not just you, and they're very good at taking care of themselves.
Yep. And you have a couple of your kids that usually come with most of the shows as well.
Yeah, my two girls that grew up ice fishing. And, something I was going to bring up earlier about, getting out there. What I did with my girls is I made sure they took their ice skates along so they had something to do. They put their ice skates on, and I'd bring a shovel, and I'd shovel one little path out on the ice. And they spent the rest of the day shoveling paths and skating. Well, I got to fish. And then if I got the fish going good, then they would come and fish.
All right.
They never learned about fishing. They only learned about catching.
Just fine. That's how they get engaged. All right, boys, anything you want to say before we send you off and you grab two new people? Anything else? Anything else you want to tell your listeners? Do you have a special lady friend out there that's watching or something maybe you want to say hi to? No? You having fun? Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And Brody, you got a big football game today. Go Anoka. All right, we'll go grab two of them. I see Wayan sitting there. Why don't you grab Wayan and have Wayan grab someone else, and let's get two new people on the stage.
Yep, thank you.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Good job, young men.
Yep.
All right. It's that cord. Oh,
Quite the family you have there,
Yeah.
Matt. It's fun to be around your family there.
Come on in, Wayan. Do we have someone else? that wants to hop
They're
on?
trying to find somebody.
Oh, well, then I guess we're going to just drill you for a while. What do you think of that?
We got the light shining in his eyes and everything.
Oh, all right, Waylon, speak right up onto here. So, Waylon here, we know Waylon's mom and dad really well. Jim and Maria Stevenson.
Yep.
They have helped us at a ton of shows, not just around here, but Landcastle.
Yep, that was fun.
They're on the ice. You were there too. I got to meet your buddy Gavin yesterday, who's about your age.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
the same age.
Okay. And I know your parents take you fishing a whole bunch. Maybe let our listeners quick know, who you are, where you're from, and just a fun fact. It can be anything you want that you think people want to hear.
All right. My name's Wayan Stevenson, and I'm from Becker, Minnesota. And the fun fact is,
What do you like to do? What do you like to do other than fish?
I like to ride dirt bike a lot.
Dirt bike.
Yep.
Nice. Have you gone on any sweet jumps?
In Onamia, where we lived previous to Becker, we had like a 3-foot jump.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice. What kind of dirt bike do you have?
On Apollo 70cc.
Nice. Are you faster than your dad and mom?
No.
No? Is your dad just reckless on the dirt bike?
Kinda, yeah. I've learned my lesson before. I've gotten stitches from it.
Oh, really?
So.
You've taken a hard fall. Nice. Nice. So you've been helping us out a ton the last couple days. What is one of your favorite things about these sport shows? Like, why do you like coming to the sport shows?
Yesterday was super fun because a lot of kids were doing about archery, a lot of younger kids. It was fun to see them want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the show here had some archery available for the kids, that kind of stuff. Super cool, super neat. And that's one thing Dave was saying too about his daughters. He brought them out ice skating. I always try to find things to keep my kids engaged. So I think what you're saying is it's not always about fishing. So even when you go out ice fishing on a bad day of fishing, there's other things you can do to keep kids occupied. Bring a football, run around and explore. I always like to cut a bunch of holes, excuse me, and then hand my kids the micro AquaView camera and go, tell me what's in all these holes. And I think there's two reasons I do it. One, keeps you guys occupied, but two, reconnaissance. They can come back to me and say, hey, Dad, you know that hole over there like 6 away? There's some really big crappie-looking things in that hole. Oh, really? Which hole was that?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there's some nice weeds in that hole over there. Oh, okay, we're going that way.
Yeah. What's your favorite? When you go ice fishing, what do you want to target? Like, what are you always begging Mom and Dad to go do?
Either we do walleyes or crappies.
Yeah.
They're both fun to catch.
You like chasing walleye? What's the biggest walleye you ever caught through the ice?
I'm not sure the exact inches, but probably 23-ish.
That's a nice walleye. Let me guess, Mille Lacs? Yeah, I know you guys fish Mille Lacs a whole bunch, and you guys have the wheelhouse and do all that. You guys were pretty influential in the wheelhouse market. I know your mom and dad do a lot with drop-down fish houses. So you basically fish in your living room.
Yeah, kinda.
Pretty comfortable. So if you're not in the wheelhouse, you're not chasing walleyes. What else do you guys like to chase around the Twin Cities? I know you guys fish North Metro, chase down panfish.
Yeah, panfish are fun to catch, especially for my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for them to pull it out
Yep.
themselves. And
Yep. So you teach your brothers and sisters how to catch fish a lot, right?
yeah.
So if we have people out there watching and listening to this that are trying to get their siblings into fishing, what would be some tips you would give to them so that they can help their brothers and sisters catch fish? What are some things that have worked for you?
You have to be patient, especially for new anglers, because otherwise they're just gonna not think it's fun if you're yelling at them to,
Yeah.
this is how you have to do it.
Sure. So be patient, kind of let them do their own thing. What are the easiest gear options? So if you're gonna put a rod and reel, let's say in your sister's hands, what are you probably gonna have her use?
For littler kids, I'd use the Scepter
Okay.
because it's got this smaller handle. It's
Okay.
easier for them to hold on to.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Yep. And a spinning reel, something easy. They can flick the bail, teach them how to
Yep.
drop the line down, and probably a tungsten jig,
Yeah.
some bait on there. Stare at your flasher.
That's what I was saying. Vexlar is still a very big part of the equation of getting younger people to get interested in fishing. You know, it's kind of like playing a video game, and you know, you're all good at playing video games.
Yeah. So when you're not fishing, you do a lot of different things, man. So what else are you doing outside of the world of fishing?
I do archery, and I'll go deer hunting in the winter with my uncle.
You're going to be deer hunting. It's open or next weekend?
Next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. You got plans?
I'm not sure when during the season, but we definitely will go.
Have you shot a deer before?
No, I've missed one though.
So you've attempted. I don't hunt at all, so I'm a little envious of you. So, but this year you're shooting a deer, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
So we're talking to Wayan here. Wayan's parents help us on the pro staff. Wayan's been a massive help the last couple days. It's been a whole lot of fun. So let's say you get a $500 shopping spree for ice fishing gear. Someone walks up to you right now and they're like, $500, buy whatever you want. What are you buying?
So my sister outgrew her jacket last year, and her bibs are fine. So I'd probably buy her a new jacket, and my brother outgrew his suit, so I'd probably buy him a new suit. And then tackle, pretty much. Rattling PTs, a couple Tika flashes, stuff like that.
Dave, how awesome of an answer was that?
Yeah, totally amazing.
What average sibling would say, I'm going to buy my siblings new ice fishing gear when they were given a shopping spree?
Well, it's nice to understand that a young gentleman like this understand the importance of being warm out there on the ice.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not warm, it's not fun.
Yeah, and the fact that he wants to take care of his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a good man. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
So if we are looking to have a dream trip, this will be your final question, and we'll let you get back to helping people. Dream ice fishing trip this winter. You can go anywhere you want. Your mom and dad basically said, all right, dude, we're going to take you anywhere to ice fish. Where do you go and why?
I'd say somewhere on Red Lake, because it's always fun up there. You can just sit down and have fun, because usually the people around there are super nice and fun to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, and you chase walleyes?
Yeah.
Hey, Red Lake, that's a good bucket list trip for a lot of people.
You know, back in my youth days, I would spend many days on Mille Lacs Lake with my parents, and I had this dog, a Cocker Spaniel, and he'd go over to one of these rental houses and then he'd pick up their walleye and bring it back to our house. You know, so now I'd have to take the walleye and go see if I can find out whose it is. Well, when you knock on the door and you got this walleye you're trying to give away, they gave me cookies and sandwiches and candy, and so that was my thing. You know, get my dog to bring a fish back.
Wayan, thank you so much, man. You got big plans? You going to help with archery again today?
If it is there, yeah. I've heard rumors of dodgeball today instead.
Uh-oh. You guys going to go win a dodgeball tournament?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, thank you, bud. I appreciate you. We'll see you at more shows, right? You're going to be at the next one as well? In Blaine, hopefully?
Yeah, I'm going to be in
All
Blaine.
right. I think we're going to see everyone you've seen so far on this will be back in Blaine. So this episode will air well before the Blaine show. So if anyone's watching this and you want to come talk to Wayan or talk to one of the Nortons or Mason O'Connor or Jack or any of the younger Johnson kids, come on out and say hi. And you guys are more than happy to help people catch some more fish, teach them about some lures, show them some stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the fun. So thanks for being a part of the junior ice team. Thanks for hopping on, man. And go see if there's somebody else that
Good
wants
job.
to hop on. Thank you, Wayan. Appreciate you, dude.
Yep.
Maybe go grab your little sister in Cali. Or they
I'll
don't
see if I can find
they
it.
don't want to do it, do they?
No.
All right. See if somebody else is ready. Otherwise, I know we've talked to quite a few kids already. But thanks, bud.
You know, I think something that's been important about my, success in fishing is that at the end of every day, and I still do this, is I ask myself why did we catch these fish today? What happened? And to think about that every day, then you kind of digest what went on out on the ice or on the water that day.
Yeah.
And you just keep learning.
Sure. All right, we got two young ladies here hanging out with us now. So now when you talk, you got to speak right into here. See the front way up here? You can even hold it if you want, if it's easier for you. Yeah, how's that? So who do we got here? Let them know who you are and maybe something fun about yourself. Go ahead. What's your name?
Nevaeh.
And Nevaeh, what's your favorite thing to do? If mom or dad said, we're going to do your favorite activity, what do you want to do?
It would probably be going to go roller skating or something.
Roller skating? That's pretty fun. How about you? What's your name, and then what's something you like to do?
Callie.
Okay. Callie, what do you like?
Fishing.
Fishing? Okay. Callie likes fishing. So, and you girls got into fishing because mom and dad take you out?
Yes.
Do you catch more fish than mom and dad?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite kind of fish to catch?
Crappie.
Crappie? What about you?
Bass.
Callie likes to catch bass. All right, perfect. How do you like to catch crappie? What do you like to use? Do you know what kind of lures or maybe what kind of baits you use?
No.
Minnows?
Yeah.
Do you like to eat crappies? Do they taste
No,
good? You don't like to eat fish?
No.
You'd rather have pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. What about you, Callie? How do you like to catch your bass? Do you remember some of the lures you like to use?
No.
No? What, maybe a wacky rig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like to eat fish?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you like pizza better?
No.
Yeah. So what are you girls doing here at the show? I know I've seen you running around all over the place. What are some of the activities you've been doing here, and why do you like coming to these ice fishing shows?
Because we could buy fidgets and we like playing with them.
You're buying fidgets, so there's some cool stuff some of the booths have for you gals to look at?
Yeah. Because we could find secret hideouts.
Secret hideouts?
We have a secret hideout right over there.
Okay. What about all these fish houses? Do you hide out in them?
Yes. There's LED lights in one, and we love to go in that one.
So they like the Aurora lights in the new Ice Team Edition hub houses.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I can see why. Yes.
Yeah. It's a nice little fort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you looking forward to ice fishing?
Yeah.
What do you like the most about ice fishing?
That you catch a lot of small ones. A lot of smallmouths.
A lot of small ones like bluegills?
Yes.
Sunfish? Crappies?
Yeah. My favorite is when I get to catch all kinds of fish, big fish and stuff.
Yeah. Your brother said he caught a really big walleye.
Oh, the first fish I caught was a dogfish.
A dogfish?
It snapped my line, but I still got it.
Nice. You caught a big dogfish. Callie, you remember your first fish, ice fishing?
Sunfish.
Probably a sunfish. Do you girls get cold on the ice?
No.
No?
Yeah.
You get cold sometimes? Now, let's say you're out ice fishing, and let's say people are listening and watching this, and they're a couple girls your age, and they're like, oh, I don't know about getting into ice fishing. Okay, let's say ice fishing, you're out there fishing. Fishing's really tough, you're not catching anything. What are some fun things you do to keep you entertained?
By maybe going into the fish house and reading a book.
Reading a book?
By trying to find some ice so I could slide on it.
Sliding on the ice? Yeah, you guys like to do that. You build snow forts and throw snowballs and build snowmen too?
Yes.
Okay. Are you excited for ice fishing this year?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you want to catch?
Crappie.
You
A
wanna catch
muskie.
a muskie?
I want to catch a catfish.
A catfish? Okay. Well, what is one last thing you want to tell the listeners about ice fishing? What's one fun tip or one fun story you want to tell the people listening?
One time I went fishing out with my dad.
Okay.
And we kept on catching small fish, and it would never stop.
Okay, that's good.
One day I went to the cabin and I catched a dogfish.
You caught a dogfish. All right, ladies. We'll set the mics up here.
Okay.
We appreciate you hopping on. It's not always easy to jump on a podcast, but you know what? I think they crushed it, Dave.
I think so too. Very good job,
You did a really good job. Well, all right, well, you guys can get back to work, running around and playing in your forts.
Thank you for letting us do this.
You got it. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in a little bit. All right. I think we've talked to almost all the kids that are here. So I think we might have saved the best for last, huh? All right. Well, thank you. They're
It reminds me so much of my girls, when they were that age.
Yeah.
They love to get out on the ice and, just getting out of the house,
Yeah.
and getting a grill out there and cooking some food for them out on the ice and, let them enjoy winter instead of, so many people, they just complain about winter.
Yeah.
And it's actually my favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
No bugs.
Yeah, and it's not all about ice fishing sometimes.
Yeah, just
You know?
the outing, get out of the house and build a snow fort. I mean, I built a lot of snow forts in Mille Lacs Lake in my youth. My parents fished. My dad would fish Mille Lacs Lake 30 days in a row. So the weekend would come and I'd get drug up to the fish house, and they were in a big house playing cards with their friends. Well, how long am I going to sit in that fish house watching them play cards? So I'd go out and I'd chop a hole.
Yep.
And rather than chop a hole, my dad would tie the ice chisel to my wrist so I couldn't throw it down the hole. And that, he taught me how to flare out the bottom so it didn't keep getting smaller. And what was always surprising is that it seemed like after I chopped a hole and put a line down it, I'd catch a fish.
Yeah.
I didn't realize back then that I was learning about mobility already.
Yeah.
Already that fresh hole, the first drop down a new hole.
Yeah.
Then I used to go over by the road because we were out in Mille Lacs and it was plowed roads. And I'd chop a hole by the road. Well, I got hollered at for that because the road would flood.
Yeah, Mitchell told us a story when we did our pro team podcast and how he used a hatchet one time to chop a hole in the ice.
Obviously, the ice wasn't too thick.
Yeah.
Don Cox just posted that he put the axe in his feed truck because the minnow or the cattle tanks were freezing up.
Yeah.
And they got to chop them out in order for the cattle to drink.
Yeah.
And he put it in so maybe Nebraska's going to be our first ice.
That would be nice. So, Dave, before we send off here and sign off, I guess, on this one, it's so great to see so many young kids getting involved in ice fishing. Now, I know a lot of our listeners, we get a question asked quite often, is like, what are some things to get my kids involved? How do you keep them entertained? Now, maybe for a few minutes, we just jog back and forth on, if we got some moms or dads or uncles or aunts, grandpas and grandmas watching this, interested in getting their kids involved in ice fishing, what would be some main tips?
Well, I think the most important is going out there at that golden hour in the evening. Get out there an hour before sundown and fish that hour, and then more than likely you're going to catch fish. And you just need to go to the end of the plowed road where the other people are, and learn the catching techniques before you venture out and try to find your own fish.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip, and I think my brain always leans towards being comfortable, snacks, but I loved your angle because you're like, well, I want them to have the best fishing experience. And I think a lot of times as parents, the convenience factor comes into play. Middle of the day on a Saturday, like not too early, not too late. I totally understand. High suns. But Dave's saying, and I agree 100%, and as a dad with a bunch of kids that like to fish, yeah, that bewitching hour, that sunrise, sunset when the fish are going bonkers, they catch more. They experience catching versus fishing. Yeah.
Because, fishing is boring. I mean, it really is if you're not catching anything and you're just holding a pole or looking at a bobber or whatever. Yep. We keep ourselves entertained because we go drill new holes and we move around and we do things. But the ice skating part of it too. I think that my girls, let's go ice skating, Dad. Well, to me that meant let's go fishing.
Yeah, you're going fishing. Yeah, and we always make a routine stop at a holiday gas station or a quick trip on the way. I let them pick out their snacks. And the one thing I learned too with my kids is I obviously work for a fishing company, right? I work for Clam. It's very evident. But I've always been very, very strict on letting them kind of pick what they want to use. So if we walk into, let's say, a Thorn Brothers, I want them engaged in fishing. I want them to find a lure they like. I feel like when you give them a little bit of onus, they go out there and they have a lot more fun. They find, and I will educate them. Don't get me wrong. If I see them tie on a 1/4 ounce spoon to go catch a bluegill, I may let them learn quick. Okay, why don't you think you're catching anything? I don't know. I mean, this spoon looks awesome. That spoon is really big. You're fishing for a bluegill or a crappie. So then you do some educating. But I've always learned that, at least with my kids, they fill their tackle box with what they liked, what catches their eye on a shelf. They grab their favorite rod or reel, all that kind of stuff. And then we tweak from there. So I've always learned, let them build their arsenal, their bag of tricks. And then I can always step in and say, you probably shouldn't be using 8-pound test line for a bluegill. Educate them why. And then hopefully in turn, they're telling their buddies and their friends the same thing. Like, oh, you need lighter line and this and that. One thing we've done really well at Clam Pro Tackle is clearly educating our youth on what a pinhead is.
Yes. I mean,
because every one of them said they use a Pinhead Pro or a pinhead to catch crappies.
to catch everything is what they do. Yeah. It's a pretty amazing lure that, something new and exciting that's came about in just the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy. I think it's easy for them to fish.
Yes.
We heard Carter or Brady. I think Brady mentioned, I can fish with gloves on when it's cold. I'm not rebaiting my hook. So you gave them also maybe an easier tool to get the job done. So, it's fun. I love getting our kids out fishing. A lot of my kids like looking at the Vexilar. They feel like it's a video game.
And once they learn that it is a video game with live players on the other end, it's not programmed. You got to figure it out.
Yep.
And each line may be different.
Yep. Well, another episode of the Ice Team podcast. We talked with our junior ice team. If you're watching this and listening, you can go to junioriceteam.com to check out that platform. Junior Ice Team has social media pages. We have a Facebook page, an Instagram page. You can send us content. You can like and share stuff. It's a great platform. We encourage anyone listening or watching to come to a show, to come down to the Ice Team or Clam booth, talk to Dave, talk to myself, talk to one of the many kids you saw on this today. Everyone's here eager and excited to teach you about ice fishing. There's a lot of stuff to look at. I know my kids personally have made a lot of friends in the sport of ice fishing. They've made a lot of friends. Some of their closest friends are here. So there's so many great reasons to get involved in ice fishing.
Bet. And my girls, grew up in the ice fishing world, and it's amazing how many friends they made. It's not just a boys' sport. Bring the girls down too.
Yep.
And you'll be surprised that they'll beat the boys.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Dave, so much. You've been so influential in this sport too, especially for our youth. So another episode of the Ice Team podcast coming at you from the North Metro Ice Show in Ramsey, Minnesota. The next time you're going to see us will be at Blanchard. Well, you and I will be in Sioux Falls.
No,
I think you're not going. No, you're going.
No, I'm going to Shields.
Yeah, we got you running to Shields. We're all going different directions. So the next time we come at you for a podcast will probably be in another state. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.